Check, check, mic check. Awesome. Hello, everybody. Hope everyone had a good day today. Today's been a pretty crazy day for myself. Hope your day has been a little bit easier for those that are able to have an easy week or easier week. I envy you. But unfortunately for me, time is of the essence because I have to be back online in a few minutes. So hopefully we can keep this quick. So let's take a look over at the charts. So we're gonna take a look at the price action today and what we see for tomorrow and Friday. So let's go to the charts now and head over here. Yep. So tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. unemployment claims. That's going to be your first injection of volatility there. I think that we're going to see a lot of movement before the day even begins, but in the case that we don't, there could certainly be some hiccups there, but for the most part, it's pretty clear which way the market wants to run this week, to me at least. So watch for those two unemployment claims at 8:30, 10 o'clock. Existing home sales sometimes provides quite a bit of volatility there. And then, of course, Powell speaks at 12. So you want to be done before Powell speaks because just watch the algo as it goes. When Powell's speaking, just things go in really weird ways, and you end up having all these other Fed speakers throughout the rest of the afternoon too. So just watch yourself in the afternoon. Okay, so let's head over to dollar and let's take a look at dollar index and see what's happened. So dollar, we're going to take a look at it on the daily. We see that on dollar, it basically went down, priced to the bottom of this fair value gap, this BISI, and is now on its way, headed back up to 106.428, I believe. If it heads there, I think it's also going to head to take out this 106.601. So 106.423 and 106.621 are on my radar there. We shall see if it wants to head upwards and continue up towards this buy side liquidity and ultimately this daily premium SIBI high. You can see on the monthly, we can kind of see that we've broken out of this consolidation range. Yes, we barely broke into this area. We have this monthly premium SIBI consequent encroachment, which we ended up trading up into at some point in the month. Take a look at the weekly. We can see as well that it was 2 weeks ago that we traded up into that and then headed back downwards. So from a weekly perspective, this is a weekly sell side imbalance. I actually should keep this level and duplicate this one over here. You can see that there. So this is a 1 week SIBI high, and it is not downswing. So we've got that there. We've got this material here too on the monthly level, so we'll keep that there as well so we can see it. But on the weekly, this is what we're drawing up into, and there's quite a bit of room up in here. So this daily fair value gap is what I think we're going to head up to. Dollar bullish, what does that mean? Indices down, right? So let's take a look at the indices themselves. So this is, of course, our favorite NASDAQ. This is micro NASDAQ, and I took out let's make this a little bit larger so we can see. So I took out some of the indicators or the charts, annotations, drawing objects is what they call them here. So we see that on the weekly, we've kind of made a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And well, right now, as of today, this is a lower high. This could, of course, bounce up and keep going up that way, but I don't think it's headed that way. I think that we are headed down towards these relative equal lows here, as well as this fair value gap down here. So you know that on my typical chart, we have everything annotated, and I still do. Don't worry, it's here. So we're going to dive down into the day and take a look at this. Okay, so we know that we're still here. Oh, I just saw a bug fly in here, so that's not fun. Stupid fruit flies. Okay, so we see that the day we opened here high, low, close, and we broke through that short term. We broke through the previous day's low and headed up, ended up trading downwards and heading back up to it, actually, or very close to it right now with the new open. So we have continued to trade down this week. We opened, came up, came back down, came up, but ultimately these bodies are telling the story. So what could we possibly be headed down towards? Well, this relative equal low has always been on the agenda. And because we have unemployment claims on Thursday, we have the high potential for us to break out. Now, we're below the current new week's opening gap already. We can see that here. This is an old new week opening gap high. I know you can't see this right now, but I promise you it's there. So what I think could happen? Well, this candle, it has no true fair value gap in the daily. So I would be looking for 50% of this wick. Pulled that out over time, and I'd be looking for that. That happens to be right around this BISI low. So let's take a look down in the lower time frames though to see if we can see anything that might clue us as to what could be there. So let's hop into a 4-hour chart. Okay, so 4-hour chart. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So what could we aim for? Well, let's take a look here. So there's a couple things that we can aim for. Certainly we could aim for this new week opening gap low once more. We could also end up aiming for this bearish order block here. There aren't any open, there aren't really any open spots here. So the previous day's high and this wick here, I would say 50% of this wick would be putting us right at that volume imbalance. I don't know if it's going to make it that far up, but I suppose it could. But it would be tough for me to see that. I think that, let's see how Asia and London run, and then we'll be able to have a clearer picture. But let's go down to the hourly and see what we can see. Stupid flies keeps coming around. Okay, so on the hourly, this is where we see a few really key things, and let's go over today's price action in the meantime. So we can see this is today's price action from here to here, right? So on the hourly, we see that there's some buy side liquidity there. This no longer is relevant because we are well below it. We see that we rejected off of that 1 week upside, up pointing wick here. And we kind of took that and continued downwards. Now there's buy side liquidity here, 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 and here. So what makes these kind of key, and what makes this one in particular kind of key, is that we did not trade above Asia's high here. We saw lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and a run on liquidity here to take that out. Takes that out within a matter of size, what, 15,224, so 2 ticks. That was the short of the day, I think. That absolutely was short of the day. So you want to always have London's high, London's low, Asia high, Asia low marked, so that those are going to be key inflection points in any intraday chart, and you want to have those marked out. So throughout the day, we could see that we had, you know, you couldn't see any of this, right? So you just saw this, and that's it. You only saw this in the morning, right? So you didn't know how the day was going to pull out or turn out. So we could tell, though, that there was some form of liquidity down here as a rejection or bounce block, and this short-term low down here as well. So what does price draw to ultimately? Even though it comes up here to knock people out, what does it draw to? Draws down to this 15,079 level, and ultimately this 15,050 level. Now, early on in the day, I remember calling those out. Just go back and rewatch today's live action. You'll see a couple of live trades as well. And actually, let me see if I have data series on. We'll just do markers for the time being so I know where these trades were. Let's head down to a 15-minute chart, though, and we can take a look and see what we might have been able to see on a lower time frame. Okay, so today was, I mean, pretty straightforward. We maintained our bearish macro bias, right? So we'll continue to maintain that. So once London failed to make a higher high, we see this drop here. Boom, boom. This fair value gap was one that, of course, was being targeted in the morning. And we see a run a little bit late, but remember, we had that marked out in the morning. Go back and watch. I think it was a red SIBI like this. Sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. I had been mentioning that right when I went live, and lo and behold, what happens at that point in time? We drop, we hit this, we reject, and drop all the way back down to form these relative equal lows here. Now, it doesn't take that out entirely until this wick, but and then we head back upwards to take out some stops, take out everyone who was short, slam them back down. Anybody who went long there, slam them all the way back down, take out these sell side liquidity and these new week opening gaps. Then we chop around a little bit in the afternoon when I said it was consolidating, and of course, all the while, we had our eyes on the prize, this level here. So that happens in the afternoon silver bullet time frame and continues downwards at the end of the day. Around 3:15, we end up meeting our objective, and it works out in our favor. So let's go down to a 1-minute chart so we can take a look at some of these trades, and I can review what was happening during that time. So let's see, where are they? Just make sure I'm not set on anything right now. It's fine. Let's keep chart trader off. Yep, so we can see all of our entries here. So, okay, so when I saw that this was rejecting, this is on the 1-minute, keep in mind. When I saw this was rejecting here, I saw price come back up and head back downwards, right? So there's no opening, right? This moment, there's no opening. I took that, lowered my stop to here, end up getting stopped out. Price gets to near where I entered, and my stop would have been above this high here, so it's a really bad entry. However, I wasn't willing to give up more, so I just let it stop me out there. With the accounts that are in drawdown, I think that was about $18 each, three accounts, and so I wanted to make sure that I did not let that reverse on me, so I got out of that really quickly. Of course, then we get into this next trade where I think I see us going down. Price goes up, down, 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 and it comes back and stops me out as it takes this rejection block and continues upwards, right? So I do see 1, 2, 3 drives pattern here. And what's kind of key about this one is that we return to this fair value gap here, this sell side imbalance within this selling range. So if you take a look at this, actually, it's probably better to take candle to candle. Kind of take that range. We see that this fair value gap is well above that 50% mark, right? So this one is there, but it's only like halfway there. So where does price trade to then? It trades right up to above this fair value gap, rejects there. And you'll notice that I saw that happen on a lower time frame, and I started to take entries into this. Now, this doesn't look like very much that's high probability, and you can see I entered here, averaged here, and then exited right as it came down here. So yeah, I mean, there are some lower time frames that I use, but I'm saying you don't need that. You could just have easily had come down here on the 1 minute and waited. You could have just waited for the price to enter this fair value gap on the way down, assuming your bias was bearish, of course. You could have waited for that fair value gap to come, and you would have had plenty of room to hit, let's say 10, 20, 30. I mean, shoot, this would have given you even 40, 50, some handles there, right? So I unfortunately was in meetings all day, so I couldn't really watch this one, but I let it go. I saw the price take profit level was around a different a lower time frame even than the 1 minute. I saw it was around a rejection block, so I took profit there, and the price immediately responds back up to take out the third high there. So we kind of see that we see 1, 2, 3, and then a fourth big drive to take out this morning fair value, or first this morning's liquidity. But in addition to that, remember, this was London's high. And what does it barely tick past here, right? So it barely ticks back past there by maybe, 0.5, 2 ticks. Now, that is what's called a turtle soup entry. It's a concept that ICT includes. It's a very difficult concept psychologically to think about, but it is worth learning in the long term. That's not the easiest one. So I'd say this fair value gap entry when it's in a premium. If you don't know what discount and premium are, definitely go to the ICT channel. He's got plenty of lessons there. Go into just the first couple months of 2016's mentorship and learn about market making, or just go through the market maker primer course and then take the first couple months of the 2016 mentorship, and you will learn a lot about this. So 2022 model also teaches you about this, and I know friends who have been wildly profitable from that. So keep that in mind. You need to put in the time practicing if you're going to get good at seeing these. You need to spend hours to look back and see where when you identify a model, you need to go back and see where you're going to see it again and again and again, and see what happens and start to trade demo. This is why I recommend trading demo for 6 or 9 months. I wish somebody would have told me that. But trade demo. Sorry, somebody did tell me that and I didn't listen. My boy Sneaker told me that and I didn't listen. I should have, but it's okay. We got there in the end. But it looks like I'm getting pinged on the other side now. So with that, this was the short of the day. I mean, there's nothing better than this. 10:20 to 10:40, 20 minutes. Gosh, how many handles? This is 110 handles. With the draw of liquidity being lower, we could have taken that down to these key levels of new week opening gap, low and high. And so, just like I mentioned in the afternoon, lunchtime consolidation, I expected a run on liquidity to the 15, 1.5, 140, 1.5, 130 levels, and it went there right around here. We end up spiking up and down, up and down, up and down. We take out buy side liquidity up here twice. We head up to a daily BISI high and BISI low previous, right? And we also have this fair value gap formed on the 1 minute. And this is in a discount, or sorry, in a premium, right? So if we take this, we can kind of see at that time, this was the lowest body. And we can see that this is right above equilibrium right here, an optimal trade entry. That's another model that you can look into. So optimal trade entry, and we can take it short again there and ultimately exit at our level, right? So that's what happened today. I think those are the few trades that I took, and this one was 4 contracts at a time, or one contract. I think 2 contracts actually copied across 4 accounts. So this one was maybe 140. This one was maybe 15, 18 bucks. So pretty good day for only being able to trade a few minutes here and there. So that's really all we see from today's price action. What do we see for tomorrow? Well, we can see, let me turn these distractions off. So what do we see? Well, on the hourly, we certainly see on the hourly, we see the short-term lows, the sell side liquidity we see down here, followed by immediately a fair value gap, which has not been taken yet. Outside of that, let's see what else we got. So outside of that, where is it? So I'm looking for something on my other screen. So these two are the core areas of liquidity I would be looking for. There is this giant bullish order block, but I'm not concerned about that being macro bearish though, because I shoot that as, okay, that yes, there is a bullish order block here. Yes, there is a fair value gap here. So I'm going to be careful around that time. It can certainly come back up, but I want to see how strongly it comes up at that time, because if it's just a weak little diddly, well, I'll look for continuation. You know, it's possible that it bounces there, absolutely, but due to my macro bearish outlook, I am seeing it run price down to here, maybe come down here, consolidate a little bit prior to unemployment claims, and then unemployment claims can just rip through all of these and start the journey down to here, down to this sell side liquidity. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm seeing on the hourly, at least. Let's go down to 15-minute. Okay, so we see this new week opening gap has already filled in most of the way. Let's say 3/4 of the way. There's no imbalances here, which were left unbalanced. We can kind of see this sell side imbalance got traded to perfectly. We do have some relative equal highs above here. I'm actually going to take these off for now. And let me take some of these off as well. Take this off as well. Okay, so there's not much on the 15-minute. You know, there's a lot of wick work, right? Very difficult price action to see. So we're going to see if maybe Asia runs for it, then we'll have a really choppy morning. But if not, then we're going to head down for sure. We're going to look to head downwards rather. We might come up to take this high as well, but I don't see anything on the 15-minute that we could reasonably trade up to, which then means I need to go down to the 5-minute and see what we can find on the 5-minute. Okay, so 5-minute, all these imbalances got rebalanced to, except for maybe this one up here. So this immediately rebalanced off of a previous weekly volume imbalance, and that's a good sign. You know, it immediately dropped here, and it couldn't get up further beyond this fair value gap. So on the 5-minute, there's this fair value gap up here that I think we could head up to. This one here certainly could. Let's see. It's, of course, it could certainly just come back up here and create a relative equal high, take it, and then head downwards. It could just, you know, take out this low, then come back and create a relative equal high down here. Then at New York Open, take that out and go lower. Those are some of the things that I see on the lower time frame here. And of course, when we make it bigger, we ultimately see that the main draw on liquidity right now is going to be having this take this deeper into this area. We're not near this upswing equilibrium just yet, so it's not quite time for people to buy just yet. Man, this guy's really annoying. Hate fruit flies. So that's what I'm looking for. Macro bearish. Yes, can it and has it made me wrong? Yeah, but at this point in time, I don't see evidence to a point where it's going to completely reverse just yet. There certainly could be some catalysts that cause that. Definitely with war going on. There's seemingly further and further escalations here, so that's going to cause some volatility in the markets, and we'll see where it takes us. So I think that's it for today. I need to hop on another call now, and so you know what I'm looking for tomorrow. Hopefully you guys were able to catch those trades today. If not, I'll look for the timestamps and put it in the description of the live trade from yesterday, and hopefully we'll be able to catch something with you tomorrow. So get some rest today, and we'll catch up soon. Hope that was helpful, and hope you trade safe, and we'll catch up soon. And oh, Tony D, you've been listening this whole time. You didn't say anything. Hopefully, you know, let me know if there's anything I can do to help out, like, and help explain concepts any deeper. I know I'm not able to be around very frequently throughout the day, but I can always help in these reviews if you drop questions or comments in the chat. Always happy to help. Okay. Get some rest tonight and go do some back testing. Go study ICT if you haven't already, or study whomever you're learning your basics, your technical analysis from. Put in an hour and a half tonight if you can, and then sleep on it, because that's one of the best ways to learn, is getting your brain to work for you at night. So with that, I'm going to hop off onto my main job, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Have a good night. See you later. See you later, Tony.